Morning and welcome to the EDJ Whitetails November 2nd morning edition. I don't know if you can see it on the grass there, but we got some frost this morning. And it's going to be a good morning. It's very calm. We're going to take our time getting in, and we're going to go to the northeast stand this morning. It's probably about the longest walk I can have, but I feel like it's our best chance. Had a couple trail cam pictures last evening of a buck we call Twin Tower coming out right under that stand. Now, had we been in that stand, though, the wind would have been blowing right at him and we would have been busted. So don't feel too bad about not being there, but we're going to get in there this morning. We're actually, once the winds do pick up for the day, going to have a south wind, which will blow right out into a chisel plowed field right now. So that's why I'm going for the long walk. And really, it's not that much further than the pond funnel where I was hunting yesterday. So we're taking our time. I just got very light gear on for the walk-in, and then I threw my coat in my pack this morning, so it's not such a pain to carry along. So thanks for tuning in. Let's see what this morning of November 2nd will bring. As you can see, that foggy, misty fog we got this morning. Welcome to the EDJ Whitetails. Good morning. It's just starting to get light. Shortly after 6. I think it's about 6:15, 6:20, somewhere in there. The clock's turned back. Had to set the alarm for 4 this morning instead of 5, so that's okay though. We made her all the way in. Like I said earlier, this was the longest walk I could probably take to get to a stand, and I'm hoping it's worth it this morning. Either way, it'll be worth it, but I like the setup where we're at. We've got a very, very light south wind. That's should be with the thermals rising up and blowing out over the chisel plow field to our north. So we're in what I call the northeast stand. Like I said, Twin Towers walked right out of here last night. Had we been here, though, I'm looking at it right now. I don't know if I'd have got him shot before he got right in our wind. So it's one of them deals. You got to pick the right spot. A lot of times it's nothing more than an educated guess. I'm glad to have the wind direction change today. That opens us up for a few more stands. And with ducks flying overhead, kind of foggy, got really cold, got down to like 28 frost. We're settling in, we're ready. Hopefully we bring you some good rut action here on November 2nd on the EDJ Whitetails. bunch of them. Must have been coming off the food plot. Just cut across that access trail into the thicker stuff there to the north. I think there's even some more coming across. Looks like does and yearlings. I'm not sure about that first one that came. There's does and yearlings that should be bringing something with antlers along, but came into this thick stuff, and I feel like they're probably going to end up to my north over here. So be watching out of that thick stuff. So they actually turned and went along the edge of the pond, which is good because then they didn't end up in my wind. Take that any day. And now we've got some does. They're probably just going to bed up to the south of us. That's got to help for bringing a buck in. So it's a good start on the morning. We're not even really all that far in, so it's still really, really calm. Just a very, very light wind. It's very chilly this morning. It's cold. Not used to it yet, so. But we've got our nomad gear and some hot hands, and the leaves are falling. And those of you that follow along every day, I am happy to see leaves falling. Although if they get in the right cadence, it sounds like deer footsteps. But take it, at least the leaves are falling. So we're hanging in there. We will bring you some more action. Directly downwind of me right now. And she smells it. Don't blow. Just go back and go around. There we go. These thermals just ain't pulling it high enough with that low level fog. I could tell when she come out of those trees she was uppity to begin with, but at least she didn't blow yet. I'm hoping she just circles around and goes down the edge of the pond like the other ones did. Do not want her to blow. I'm glad she just stopped short and turned around. The leaves sure are falling. But I want to get back to that doe walking out of the end of that thicket there. I know y'all are thinking, dang, Eric, do you stink that bad? While I've always said before, you're never going to beat a deer's nose, we had a few things against us here. One, after last weekend crossing the river, I knew I needed a brand new pair of hip boots. Um, so I ordered some hip waders, and they arrived on Thursday. And I did my best having them hanging on the fence outside, spraying them down with Scentaway. But if you've ever bought a new pair of boots, it is nearly impossible to get rid of that rubber smell off the start until you get some sun on them. So it's to the point where I feel like maybe it's in my head now, but I feel like I can actually smell those boots as I'm standing here. Which is okay as long as the deer aren't coming out right downwind like she did. And when a couple went along the edge of the pond and then the others split off, I still, like I said in the video, knew that something was going to come out the end of that thicket, and I was worried about it. At least she didn't blow and cause a real alarm. She headed back to the west, and I'm not sure where they went from there. Another thing I wanted to touch on is it is very surprising to me with the does that we've seen that there's not a buck on them. As you might imagine, I watch other YouTube hunting channels, and there's been some good rutting activity on them channels. And for whatever reason, I feel like in my area here that we're a little behind. Still got does, big does with yearlings, and I'm not seeing a ton of cruising yet. Just a couple little bucks and stuff. Now on the cameras, I've been getting daylight photos, but I almost feel like we're like a week behind. Get in the comments, tell me what you guys have been seeing as you hunt. Let me know what kind of activity you're getting, because I'm curious. I don't know how that could actually work out, that we'd be a little behind, but it's also green as green can get down in here too. So yeah, let's get a chat going on what you're seeing on rut activity. Well, that's a buck we call Curly, and he ended up right on that trail, right downwind, and this fog is settling right in on him. He knew the jig was up. I was, as you saw him coming down the road there, I wanted him to just stay on that road. I don't think I wouldn't have shot him, but I would have loved to have gotten footage right up here. He's a young 10-pointer, beautiful buck, and he just smelled me. A neat encounter anyway, but man, I wish he'd stayed on that road. He did just like that doe did. He got so far, and then there's a heavy trail where they got across. Basically, the only spot that they can get downwind of me today, and now that doe and now that buck have done that. Kind of stinks, but he didn't blow, and he's not one I would shoot unless well, I can get an itchy trigger finger once in a while. It'd be hard to say. If he was right under me and it was a great video, it would maybe start to get a little dicey for him, but he got away from us this morning anyway. I don't like doing that, but I mean, what other option do I got? I mean, any stand I have, there is a possibility of them getting downwind, and that fog settling in like this, it's really, the thermals aren't in my favor this morning. Oh well. Good morning though so far. It's nice to see a bigger buck on the camera for you guys, so we're gonna keep at it. Little doe there. Doesn't seem like a yearling, but not real big though either. just a medium-sized doe. Looking behind her, there ain't nothing behind her yet, but like I talked about earlier, I just feel like we're a little behind. Curly there, was out cruising, but it almost looked as though he was headed back to bed. He's been on this camera quite a bit the last few days. So it was almost as if he was just, feeding his way back to bed. He wasn't really like out seeking or cruising. So I just, for whatever reason, I just feel like we're a little behind as far as rut timing goes yet. But the leaves continue to fall, and it's been a really productive morning for deer sighting for sure. So a lot of fun for sure. All right, gang. It's 9:05, which yesterday would have been 10:05. So we've spent that same amount of time in the tree. Really fun morning. Now, not exactly ideal to get winded by that doe and that buck. But, I mean, it's going to happen. They didn't go crazy about it. I still feel like it's that brand new rubber smell just permeating. It has to smell super pungent to them. The wind now has swung out of the southwest, and that's where it's supposed to stay the rest of the day. Let me flip a leaf storm. So like I said, it has switched out of the southwest now, and we're going to slide out of here. It's been 35 minutes or so 40 minutes since I seen that small doe. So we're going to slide out of here, but we're not going to go out the way we came in. We're going to be crafty about it. I'm actually going to go out the northeast of the property, cross the river, and basically go cross country back to the truck. It'll actually be a quicker walk than how we came in, but how we came in is the way we needed to come in. And now we're going to get out of here and not disturb anything to the south and southwest of us that's bedded up. I don't want to go anywhere near the hinge cuts. I don't want to go anywhere near the east thicket. One thing I do feel about those deer winding me this morning and then heading back the way they did, I feel like they would have just went around the other side of the pond and ended up bedding up in the east or west thicket. So tonight, that southwest wind, we're going to get back in the food plot. It's been at least a week now since I hunted the food plot, so kind of excited to get back over that green, lush, mossy oak biologic. And with that southwest wind, it blows our scent out across the pond. And I don't have to wear these waders. Now, don't get me wrong, I love these waders that I purchased from Rogers out of Rogers Sporting Goods. But in bottomland, which is hard to find in a hip boot, but I got to get these babies a little more scent proof. Like I said, I sprayed them with scent away. I left them hanging out on the fence, let the sun get at them. Eventually that'll, just like a pair of lacrosse boots or something like that, it'll that strong rubber smell will go away. But I feel like all in all, after this morning, that's what got me. But I'm not down. As you all know, well, maybe you don't all know, but I love every minute of this. Bow hunting is my true passion, and the most ideal thing for me to be would get to hunt every day and shoot a nice one right at the last day of the season. But love being out here, love watching everything, all the wildlife, and we're going to wrap this up for the morning of November 2nd with the EDJ Whitetails. I'm Eric Johnston, and remember to get outdoors.